and fakie in a run, it looks you confident, and he's confident.
Foot jam nose pick to fakie off the bridge.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have another run for all of these guys.
Yeah.
We'll say if there's enough time on the clock for one more run, when the first guy comes around, they all get another shot. And that's perfect for this guy and for Kyle.
Even though that time's going to run out, we're still going to finish out the rotation, and Brett Manasewicz needs to really get it done here.
Brett looks like he lost a little bit of his speed. Comes right back, the flare tail whip. He's flipping upside down, turning 180 degrees, and letting his bike flare out, then straight into something like that. A nice front flip.
It's not going to be enough to get him into that next round, but you know, you also care what place you end up, period. So you might as well throw down.
Exactly. He looked a little lost at the end of that run, but again, this is only his second year competing at the X Games. He just missed the podium by one spot last year. He's only 16 years old. Remember that name, Brett Manasewicz. You'll be hearing it a lot years to go.
He's going to get better and better. He's got his own private skate park now called The Kitchen, which ironically isn't far from the bakery in Chicago. Brian, I think they provide pastries for the bakery.
Yeah, that's
hold on.
Oh, yes!
That's a massive flip.
He did that at our local park. Big giant flip, 90 over the hip. A lot of draws with Jock.
Let's take another look at this. Look how high he's boosting. Sitting back, a nice slow flip.
A little low. Look at that. Gary just riding like Gary rides.
With a feeble grind.
Clean.
Feeble grinds, and your back peg is on the coping, your front wheel is up on the surface.
Look at that
high-speed manual.
Up on that carport.
Hung up a little bit, but it didn't seem to affect him. He just maintains his speed no matter what.
Him and Dennis, San Diego locals, let's just say that they know how to ride their bikes in San Diego.
Look at that, downside peg grind up on that plexiglass bridge.
Casual downside grind, way above the cement. He's using that ski jump a little different than everybody else too. A unique line there.
Oh, the 540, spinning around 540 degrees, straight to a turn down.
That's another solid run there for Gary.
Very solid.
I don't think that's going to be enough to overtake Daniel.
Which means he's going to be playing the waiting game.
Exactly.
When you're the guy on the bubble.
Well, they got him a full. Wow.
Yes.
Wow, I said I didn't think it was going to be enough, and he did. He overtakes Daniel Dares by 2 full points.
The pressure is on.
You know what? And that's well deserved when you're.
Oh, Daniel's slipping a pedal. Daniel lost his line.
Well, now this is huge. He's your defending gold medalist, and with him calling it with 28 seconds left on the run clock, that means Daniel Dares is now our bubble guy. Why? We take the top 2 scores out of each heat and the better third place scores. So with that last run for Gary Young, he's now solidified himself a spot in that final. And Daniel is now going to be nervously watching in heat number 2 to see if he gets edged out.
That happened a couple years ago, where Dares was just kind of left speechless. He didn't realize you can't follow these scores that fast when you're up on the deck worrying about your run. Daniel would have been wise to try to bump that score, even to a 75, could make the difference.
Well, I'm going to touch on what you said earlier. I don't know if these guys are really paying too much attention to that leaderboard, but let's take a look at some action from this heat. Last year's gold medalist, Daniel Dares.
Look at this. Cork got a 720, his own version, his own style.
Right here, Cork 720, totally Daniel style. I love seeing him do that. Out of the pool bowl, the alley-oop double tail whip.
That's very impressive because that lip is steep. And this guy just kills it.
This is one of my favorite tricks. Foot jam nose pick to fakie. Fakie meaning you're coming back in backwards.
And could you do that flip any cleaner? And then, hey, maybe I'll do it up on that bridge while I'm at it.
Yeah.
Dennis Anderson showing people how to be carefree and tear it up at the same time.
Coming in fakie on a big ramp like that, coming backwards with all that speed is so challenging.
Wow, big pocket tail whip.
Well, the big shocker right now is last year's defending gold medalist. He is sitting on the bubble spot. That is heat 1 in the books. Keep in mind, we've still got another heat of 5 riders left to go. Remember, we're taking the top 2 with the better third place score. More BMX Park Final when we come back to X Games 17. Welcome everyone to day 3 of 4 here, X Games 17. You're looking at a live aerial shot of downtown Los Angeles and LA Live. We are on what we call the event deck, and we are down to our last jam session here. It is the BMX Park Final. We have narrowed the field down to 5 riders out of our 2 heats, and these 5 riders are about to do battle in hopes of walking away with some X Games gold here this afternoon. Hello everyone, I'm Jimmy Coleman, sitting alongside Dennis McCoy and Kevin Robinson. We've got Chris Pastris out there getting some sideline reports for us, and the big story coming into this final, 2 actually. Dennis Anderson was our top qualifier coming out of elimination, and he pretty much picked up where he left off on Thursday. He's the top scorer guy here in the final, and last year's defending gold medalist Daniel Dares, he barely got in. He was our bubble score guy. He'll be joined by Chase Hawk, Gary Young, Scotty Kramer, and of course Dennis Anderson. But how about it with Daniel Dares getting in on that bubble spot? It barely got it done. I mean, it came down, we take the top two scores out of each heat and the better third place score. So he was kind of nervously high on that one up in heat 1, but he got in. It
was so impressive how much they came out swinging in the qualifiers. You know, they're showing that you can pull no stops. You're here, you're at the X Games. You better be coming here to win.
Yeah, well, you know what?
It's going to be an interesting final.
All the scores are a moot point at this point. We've cleaned the slate, we re-rack, and we'll do it all over again. It is a 15-minute jam session. These riders will run in order as to how they're seated. So we'll see last year's gold medalist first, then Chase Hawk, Gary Young, Scotty Kramer, and then Dennis Anderson. It's a 40-second max run clock. You run in order. Ride you fall or until 40 seconds has elapsed. The best possible score you can earn is a 50. It's the 2 best run scores total together that'll hopefully have you on that podium here for X Games 17. And here we go. We are in. Started off with last year's gold medalist. This is Daniel Dares.
Daniel with a big double tail whip, coming out swinging out of the pool bowl.
And big was the key point. He seemed to like hit that with a little more speed and boost it a little higher.
And that'll help you maintain your speed through the rest of your run. Oh, man!
Double tail whip
straight into the flare.
He wasn't lying. He's saving some for the final. Save some energy, save some of his big tricks.
You know, and you also got to consider the wow factor. You know, you come out, you kind of hold back a little bit, then you come out for your finals run with energy like this. Oh! 7 over the gap.
That's a solid run.
Daniel Dares has made his mark.
Did he take his hands off on that? It looked like he got his hands off.
He is here to compete.
Oh, it looked like one of them came off.
And right out there right now, Chase Hawk, he's just going to attack this thing at a high speed.
What a massive line.
Now, we talked about this in the elimination rounds. Some of these guys have a big arsenal of tricks, and then again, a guy like Chase here, he's known for his style and his flow, and that's obviously paying off for him because here he is in the final.
Chuck no-hander up into the ski jump, hops around the bowl corners to get some more speed.
Now Daniel's posted a 35. That's a solid score, but it's far from the 40 that some of the guys were posting in earlier rounds. So
huge alley-oop. Alley-oop meaning you kind of drift backwards, you kind of travel backwards through the air.
Well, we're about to see another one of these style and flow guys with Gary Young. Watch how fast this guy propels himself through these corners and these pockets.
Nice bar transfer in. That's a cool line.
That is a very cool line. A peg grind right into the transfer off the carport.
Manuel on the same line, coming into a little bit of trouble there.
The alley-oop backs up. The tail whip out of the tombstone. Gary's looking like he's lost a lot of his speed.
Yeah, this isn't his best, but
the downside peg grind. Gary have to call it.
Hey, it's a 4-run format. If you're going to fall, he was falling on a run that wasn't quite up to his standards to begin with, so.
And he still has 3 runs left. He's got time. Gary has the energy to come back out and maintain the same energy level.
Yeah, the key factor, it's your best 2 runs, and with 12 and a half to go on the clock, plenty of time left. And here you go with Scotty Kramer.
Scotty, the double tail whip transfer up onto the carport.
Wow,
look at
big transfer line.
Look at the speed that he's maintaining.
He's definitely up the ante with his intensity from what we saw out of Heat 1 from him.
And that was a big trick.
Backflip tail whip into the pump up. He landed base basically flat with no transition, and look, he maintains his speed. He goes right back into his run.
The impressive thing to me was what he did before the whip flip. He did a high-speed bar spin, bunny hopping into that bowl. That's fast, and it's a nice, I mean, it's a gnarly tight landing. To hit that as clean as he did and go right into this, look at that. That's a big line.
He just slipped the pedals there, but he touched down, so he keeps the run going.
And he got his energy back quick. He got his speed back really quick.
And no fault of his, really. I mean, there's just nothing to land on there.
This is Dennis Anderson.
Manual, tuck no hander in. Whip down that.
That's the challenge with a course like this. When you can falter a little bit, you can land a little low, and if you can get right back into your line and get your speed going again, that's what it requires for a course like this, and to put together a winning run.
And he's not even halfway through the run yet, but I feel like we're going to be seeing the leader.
Oh, the tail around the pocket.
Yeah. He's just,
there it is.
Looks like he's
thoroughly
enjoyed himself.
Those are perfect. He's made every single one.
Well, right into a tail whip.
Looks like
full pole, uses all his time right to the buzzer.
He's going to be the leader there, and he's led from
Gary Young showing the appreciation of a good run from Dennis.
Well, the best possible run score you can get is a 50. He gets a 40, so he's picking up right where he left off from round one.
I want to know how everybody thinks about this contest. Tweet us at X Games or tweet me at KRob BMX.
No-handed 3 down the ski jump. No foot can the late whip. Wow! That's one of the bigger tricks.
Out of the pool bowl, a steep transition.
Man, and a huge 720. He's halfway through. He's got to maintain.
Daniel, so far, his theory is working.
Well, he had a little bit of a scare being on the bubble going into this, and he says, you know what, I'm not wasting any time this time around. He wants another gold medal.
Look, out of the pool bowl, big alley-oop, double tail whip, out of that steep transition. That is such a challenge.
That's going to be a big score.
He's got a first run score of a 35, and he gets a 40. So that's a big run there for Daniel Dares as we bring back in Chase Hawk.
Daniel Dares is back.
Well, if this keeps up, there's going to be an all-out battle between him and Dennis Anderson.
Chase nailing that manual line, high speed. See me closing right into the high-speed
ice pick grind. When just your back peg is on the coping.
They showed a lot of control. Those are considered like flow-type moves. And you do it and go into something that big, this is what people like to see. But he did quit really early and didn't have enough tricks, so.
You know, the speed they have to maintain, the energy level they have to have, all while doing these tricks. You know, it's like running a 100-yard dash through an obstacle course.
Yeah! That's a shame. That's a shame for him to mess it up. A feeble to 270.
Feeble to 270.
He's going up sub-box style. That's a 4-foot tall carport, and he's going up like a sub-box, feeble grinding, and then 270 out, but he has to get over the end of it. He's not coming back into where he took off. He's going into something straight.
Well, the pressure's kind of on for Gary now because he's got to get 2 solid run scores with 8:44 left in the jam.
Up on the manual pad.
Watch this. Bar spin in. That's very impressive. Right into it.
Backflip, tail whip, landing smooth.
Maintain his speed that time. That landing is tiny.
Landing smooth on a wooden, like about a 2-foot transition.
12 seconds to go. Again, I hate to keep saying if he can maintain, but we're seeing a lot of guys just run out of energy, run out of lines.
Yeah, guys are getting out with about 8, 9, 10 seconds left. Big front flip.
Big front flip, holding on. Right out the buzzer. Used all his time. Coming out with a banger right on the end. I always think that's super important.
Yeah, that was a big run right into a big score. Guarantee.
This run's going to be big for Dennis Anderson. He's got a first run score of a 40. Remember, it's your 2 best run scores total together. So what does Dennis have for round 2?
More of the same. High speed, flowing, big tricks, and not afraid to work in a little of everything. Big bar spin to X up. You don't see people going that high.
Not going that. That's what I love seeing. That I love seeing people utilize the big ramps.
Flip whip. That's ridiculous.
Over that chunk. That is amazing.
that's ridiculous. And look at that. That's what I'm talking about. Tech lip tricks in the run, still finds a way to keep the speed and get going again. This is what BMX is about.
And he did that
right now.
And he did that out of a flip whip. Out of a flip whip.
If you're watching at home, the 2 clocks in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. The one in white, that's how much time we have left in the jam session. The one in yellow, that is the run clock. And there you go, 41.
41, and Dares is going to pass on his run. Does he have a mechanical difficulty? Is he winded? I have no idea.
This is not the time to be passing on your run.
If there's nothing wrong with his bike, this is where it gets weird, because now Chase is going earlier than he would have gone. The next guy's going earlier than where. Somebody else might decide they want to pass. In a jam format like this, when somebody gets pulled out of the mix,